I have this setup I like to use when I go camping, and right in front of the rear tire is where I keep my hand washing station. I hang it over the edge of my bed, and then I keep some soap to go with it. And not just any knot would do, this is a bottle knot. My first thought was to use a simple overhand loop and just hang the bottle on the trigger, but then I saw these slots here and realized that the mechanism might interfere with the knot. So I went straight for the traditional method of tying a bottle knot, and I realized I don't like it very much. Let me show you why. You'll take your halfway point and fold it down. Okay. Now I have my strands. I'll twist them once and twist them twice. Okay. Right in the middle of that twist, I have that window where my middle finger's at. I'll separate the two strands down below and I'll grab that loop. Pinch the loop together and I'll thread it right through that window. And now I have these two ears right on top. I'll take the one in the back and I'll bring it down. I'll take the one on top and I'll bring it down. And now we have our opening for our bottle knot. And this is the same exact thing I used when I went camping, but I kept making a mistake. Full disclosure, I was wondering what on earth is going on here. Let me show you what I did. It had been so long since I tied a bottle knot, I was making a simple mistake and I wasn't catching it. And finally, I reviewed one of my very first knot videos, which is a narrated bottle knot, and I realized my mistake. Okay. I took out my cord and I folded it down. I twisted it once and twice. Had my window there. I went down below to grab my loop, and then I brought it up, and that is where I was making my mistake. These two strands, you want to keep them nice and straight, pointing away from what you're working with. Right here, they're pointing upwards. We want to keep them pointing down. If you don't do that, then you can fold them up with your knot, and then it makes a big old mess. I did this, and then I brought this down, brought that down, and then I couldn't figure out why my knot was looking all messed up. Anyhow, that's wrong, and I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out different ways to tie a bottle knot, and I found two. Here's our little training aid and our green 1/4-inch Paramax. If you'd like to support my channel, you can pick up your very own Paramax at my shop, awesomeforsale.com. And for the month of November, free shipping is back. Just use code THANKS. So what we're going to do is create a turn and place it right into the slots here. Okay, and you can see that we have a nice little coil going there. We're going to take one side of our cord, create a bite, and thread it right through the middle. We'll do the same thing with the other side. Create a bite, thread it right through the middle. And right here, you can see we've created a little square. There's our square. We're going to take the top of our coil and push it right through that window and pull everything up. Okay, and watch what happens once we get this all dressed up. We have something very similar to a bottle knot. Let's grab our bottle, run it through. This one is kind of complicated, but stay with me. Okay, pull in a twist. Right, I'm going to turn this into a constrictor knot. Bring that together. And here's my constrictor knot. If you take a look at the constrictor knot, I have this portion that's right on top, and I have these two strands that cross over each other underneath. Okay, I'm going to pull apart the two strands down below, and this top portion, I'm going to start braiding it. Underneath, over, underneath, and over. Okay, there we go. All right. Looking close, it's not exact. All right, let's get this tied the traditional way. We'll fold this down, give it a twist once and twice, grab the loop, we'll bring it up through that window, keep our legs straight. Okay, we gotta fold this one down, and then the next one. There we go, here's our bottle knot. All right, we're just gonna set that off to the side. Now here's the other way I showed you, make the coil. We'll push this one through, push this one through, separate down below, and push the center. Okay, there is our other bottle knot. And you can see that this one constricts and so does this. But watch what happens if we slip them out. This loop is going to fall all the way through. It's going to come out, going to come out, going to come out. Okay, let's keep on going and you can see why they are different. Okay, there we have this thing. It almost looks like a constrictor knot. We have like a complete twist going on in there. This one, if I pull it through, Keep on pulling, keep on pulling, keep on pulling. This one is a classic constrictor knot. Now, does it make a difference? At least with paracord, I don't think so. I think it does just as good a job. And since we know that we can spill our knot into a constrictor, all we'll do is braid it back together to create that bottle knot. There's that portion on top, pull apart the strands down below, and then I'll just braid. There we go. Okay, let's get carried away here. Let's make our constrictor knot. Okay, open this up. All right, pull apart the strands down below, and I'm gonna braid it more than I need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's getting harder to do. Pull that through. There we go. All right, 8. Now this is unreasonable, but maybe it could be used for something. And as far as this tent, it works out great. I really like it.